So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. In our last video, we had detailed Toke's childhood. We recounted the tragedy that struck when she was only 8 years old and how her parents, the both of them, passed untimely and tragically in a house gas explosion. We narrated how it affected her teen years, how she was rebellious and recalcitrant, how she went to university to study English and literature, how she got out, worked at the bank, and found her love in media, and how she kept on applying for jobs before she found her break. We also detailed how she gradually but steadily began rising to fame. In today's video, we're gonna go deeper with things. We're gonna go through the second tragedy that had Toke down on the floor, everything that happened, and how she ended up as a divorced single mother expecting a child in her 40s. Now, a quick reminder, if you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, oh yeah, let us give you 1 second. It just takes 1 second and it is free of charge. So hit the subscribe button down below, begin to give this video a big thumbs up, and drop your comments. There would be plenty to react to. Drop them all down in the comment section and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. 30-year-old Toke MAKINWA at the time had met 41-year-old Maje many years ago at a book club.
We met a long time ago.
Okay.
We met a long time ago at the book club in Lagos.
Maje is an Ishekiri man, tall, dark and handsome. He hails from Sapele in Delta State.
I'm from Delta.
Okay.
I'm Shakiri, so from a little place called Sapele.
He was the youngest child in his family, and he had 5 older siblings.
You know, I'm the youngest in my family.
Oh,
By
okay.
quite a way. So,
Youngest of how many kids?
5 siblings.
Maje came from a privileged home. He schooled in Kent, England, after which he returned to Nigeria, where he established his business as a fitness and wellness coach.
I went off to boarding school at a very young age. So
Where's that?
In England, in the countryside, in Kent. I was very, you know, like everything was already done and dusted with the family unit, and then there was me. So everything was kind of like, it's okay. You know, everything was done. Decisions were made. I didn't have to think or do much. So I became very complacent. Just as a human being, you know, just what do I want in life? I couldn't think of what I wanted because it had already been thought.
Toke met Maje when she was really young, and they dated off and on for about 12 years or even more. It may not be far-fetched to link Toke's anxiousness and inability to remove herself from a relationship that was not fulfilling to her earlier shocking experiences as a child. There might be a link to this. Toke kept on going on and off with Maje for 12 years, even when she could feel it down in her guts that this relationship may be danger. Maje had another girlfriend called Anita Solomon, whom he was also doing this off and on thing with Toke. They had dated for up to 7 years. So he breaks up with Toke, he runs into Anita's arms, he breaks up with Anita, runs back to Toke, and maybe, who knows, your guess is as good as mine, maybe even dating them together. Now, when we talk about red flags, believe me, they exist for a reason. Maje had proposed to Toke severally and had severally failed to make good his marriage promise. Now, my narration is according to Toke. He first engaged Toke in 2009 when she was 24 and he was 35. But when it became time to move forward with the marriage preparations, he backed down, causing their relationship to break down, but only temporarily, because before long, he was back into her life. Majia proposed again to TOKE in 2012. What is that? 3 years after 2009. This time, she was 27 and he was 38. So there is an 11-year gap between them. But once more, he hesitated and refused to go on with the marriage plans, causing their relationship to get strained once again. And then he was back to Anita. Majia came back with a third engagement, this time in 2014, 2 years after the second. And despite repeated patterns of inconsistencies and commitment issues, TOKE was head over heels in love.
Because at that time, I was young, but I fell in love with this guy hard. He was the best thing that ever happened since sliced bread. Nobody could tell me otherwise. You know, this was my friend.
She accepted the proposal and they got married in a low-key civil ceremony there in Lagos. They did look so good together. Chocolate and ivory, she was so happy. Finally, some permanence, some security, some stability. Yes, she and Majia had issues in their very long, rocky and bumpy relationship. But here was some assurance, some commitment. He loves me enough to wife me and put a ring on it. He will change and we will be happy. It is together forever. Well, so she thought. TOKE's marriage to Majia was what she has described as deeply troubling and painful. She disclosed that Majia struggled with commitment and that he gave her a sexually transmitted disease. I do not know whether that STD happened during the relationship or in the course of the marriage, but according to TOKE, he gave her that. She said that she would very often discover messages and evidence of other women, but she would stay steadfast, forgive him, and hope that things will change. Oh, she said that she would bend over backwards to please him, often feeling unworthy, constantly anxious, and insecure in the relationship. She said that even though she was married, she constantly felt alone, spending nights waiting for Majia to come home, only for him not to return that day. And before long, she said that his behavior crossed into verbal and emotional abuse, and arguments began escalating into physical intimidation. But in all of it, she had to keep a happy face, a happy front. Don't forget that she is a media girl, so the job must go on. She had to be bubbly and smile in public and hold hands and act like the perfect couple. But things were not quite that way. TOKE was already 30 when she got married. So she was not waiting for the honeymoon phase where I want 1 year to enjoy my husband. No, she wanted to have children. In fact, she desperately wanted to have children for her husband, but she was struggling with conception. She was also burdened with the cultural and societal pressure. I remember like it was yesterday. Whenever the lady goes out doing her job or having fun, people would taunt her and tell her, stay here and be gallivanting and going up and down. Don't go and get pregnant. Don't go and give your husband children. Every time she comes out, it's going to be one poke, one jeer, one mockery after the other, urging her to go and get pregnant and stop moving and gallivanting around. So apart from the pressure that she was putting herself under, there was also the societal and cultural pressure. She began feeling less and less of a woman because she couldn't, or not couldn't, because she hadn't given her husband a child yet. Ask me how long this marriage was. Marriage of 1 year. 1 year. So she began working so hard to see it happen. She sought fertility treatments, went for IVF, which unfortunately failed. So while TOKE was fighting and struggling, tracking and trying to have a baby for her husband, she was preparing for the second IVF until the unthinkable happened. On this fateful day in 2015, that is the very next year after TOKE got married. Remember that she had gotten married in 2014. So the very next year. The day had started like every other day until TOKE got a phone call from a very close friend who asked her, have you seen the blogs? Have you seen the news? She was like, which blogs? Which news? What are you talking about? This close friend opened up to her and told her that Anita Solomon, her husband's ex-girlfriend, whom he was doing off and on with, was 5 months plus pregnant for her husband and was currently in the United Kingdom to have her husband's baby. She saw darkness. She almost passed out. The shock and the disbelief crippled her, almost unconscious. She hadn't checked social media that day, so she did not know that the news was all over the blogs. So she was not only faced with the private pain, she also had to deal with the public embarrassment and ridicule.
So for me, going through what I went through, it's not a new thing that would happen. You know what I mean? But then it happened in such a
Public space.
People had the liberty of going to their homes and just closing their curtains and crying to themselves. And I had to have a face for the public.
She ran to her husband, tears streaming down like fountains and oceans. She asked him, honey, what is this that I am hearing? And the man said, it is a big lie.
It was lies. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And then I'll confess. And it's true.
She had seen the pictures of the pregnant lady because they were plastered all over the news. And she knew her husband's long-standing relationship with the girl. So she begged and pleaded and urged him and told him, please, just tell me the truth. Weeping and wailing, drenched in her tears. And after crying blood, the man came out clean and said, yes, it is true. My baby mama is expecting a child for me and she will soon deliver. TOKE collapsed. Her legs suddenly could not carry her weight. She dropped on the floor, weeping and wailing uncontrollably as the unhinged pain and sting of betrayal stung at her. You wouldn't believe what happened next. You will not believe what the man did next. He called the chef and told them to prepare him a hot steaming bowl of food. As a proper Delta man from Sapele, my guess is banga and starch. And then he went to enjoy himself a good meal.
Right after he confessed and told me that happened, he still asked our chef to give him food. And he still ate while I was on the floor crying. He did.
So while his wife, who had just gotten the shock of her life, was on the floor weeping and wailing, about to die, Maje was enjoying hot steaming banga and starch. You see, I do not know what to say here. It might seem like a funny issue. Some of you would come to the comment section to say, Barrister Neze, you are funny. This is not a funny matter, my dear sister, my dear brother. I don't know how some people reason, oh. I don't know whether it is the same God that created A that created B. And I do not know the lens that some men view life from. Help me down in the comment section if you know. Is it that you are not in touch with your emotional side, or you do not know how to treat a fellow human being? You just broke somebody's heart. You just shattered somebody's soul. You just dismembered another human being's spirit. And you still get appetite to swallow a bar. You see why I like to take out my time to speak to my men sometimes? Because yes, given, some of them are driven by wickedness. But for some, I might just assume that it is ignorance. So, in a relationship, when a challenge presents itself, I'm not even going to use challenge presenting itself. I will say when you present a challenge, because this challenge did not present itself. What happened here is deliberate and calculated betrayal. When a challenge happens in a relationship or marriage, your crisis management skills and techniques goes a long way to determine whether that issue will be escalated or de-escalated. Do you know that in many cases, not all, many, in Nigerian marriages, let me just use Nigerian marriages, let me not say African marriages this time. If there is a history of the man treating the woman fairly, not even excessively good, or just a nice husband maybe provides, just fairly, and this kind of thing happened, the man owned up and informed his wife, apologized, confessed, took responsibility, and prepared her for the storm. Because it is different when your partner tells you this kind of thing, then you'll be able to hold yourself and confront the world prepared. It's different than when you are taken unawares. You are just pushed into the den of wolves. That's social media. If this man had done that, told her, opened up and say, babe, I done F up. See what I have done. And then he shows genuine concern and repentance, tenders an apology, empathizes, not dismissing her pain. Waiting day there, not today. Empathize with her when she's hurting. Do you know that there is a high chance that that marriage will continue, that she will stay, that she will manage the situation? Shakespeare, in his popular quote, said, "No be today, bum day back get center pattern." It is not today that African women have been swallowing yama just for marriage to continue. Except for a very few cases where the women, it is a 1000% deal breaker. They can't live with it. Most women, if the situation is like this, as I have described, many women will remain there. So men that value family, value their marriages, love their wives, want to keep the unit together, not the type that justify stupidity with culture and tradition. I'm not talking to you here. Just if you're that type, just pause small. Let me address the ones that have sense first. Not those that feel like madness is their birthright. For those that have value in family, your conduct after a crisis situation is very important. If your wife, who has been suffering to look for a child, for my TTC moms and dads here, if you have looked for a child, you will know that it is easier and better to look for money or look for anything else in this world. The pain, the sleepless nights, the tears at every period, the embarrassment and humiliation, you'll be going from one doctor to the other. Even those that just came out of medical school, 22-year-old, to tell you open up your leg and remove your pants. All kind of hands will be going in. It can drive somebody mad. Painful tests. There's one they call HSG, if I'm not mistaken. Say as painful as delivering. So a woman is going through this only for her to find out that her husband has impregnated his side chick, and the side chick is about to give birth to a child for her husband while she's struggling, trying to conceive for him. And you have the effrontery to go and eat eba while she wept. Some people in the comment section might say, Barrister Neze, this eba is paining you. Yes, it is painful. Just twist the tables around. You know, sometimes some people don't see women as human beings. So let me tell you the truth. Some people do not see women as human beings. They see women as animals, less than humans. But if you want to really address or appraise how good or just or painful something is, just turn the tables around and imagine that a married woman, the husband just found out that her boss at the office or her gym instructor or her pastor impregnated her. And as the husband found out and confronted her, next few minutes she has ordered shawarma and ice cream, yogurt, and she's licking ice cream and shawarma. Does it look normal? I am not talking about the cultural weight of the both incidents. because you might say, yes, the woman's own has more cultural weight, abomination. I'm not talking about the cultural weight. I'm talking about the effects of that news, the betrayal, the impact it has on a human being. A heart is a heart. And the way a man's heart shatters at betrayal is the same way a woman's heart shatters. So the African culture and society has deceived people into believing that a woman is more tolerable. A heart is a heart, and betrayal stings regardless of gender. Nobody is immune to pain, because I don't know how somebody can have appetite in that situation. If na me, my throat go dry, saliva go dry from my mouth. Even if you're hungry, you didn't even run to the back of fridge and chew bread where nobody will see you, claim out and come out and start saying, sorry, baby. You get mine, order food tray of banga and starch.
I wish he walked up to me to say, girl, I've done something. I mean, I tell people, regardless of whatever you guys saw play out in the media, that was my guy. Many years have passed now. Sometimes you have those moments where it's still unbelievable. But there was no hold hands, baby, can I tell you something? I've wronged you. It wasn't that.
Well, the very next day after TOKE found out that her husband had started a new family with his side chick, she still had to go back to work because she was basically fending for herself. She was in charge of caring for herself financially. And she said that she could not afford to be heartbroken and broke at the same time. That's too many breakage happening at the same time. So in the midst of the heartbreak, the fear, the shame, the public humiliation, she had to go back to work immediately.
And people would say to me, you're so strong, TOKE, you're so strong. But I wasn't always strong.
Yeah.
I went to work the next day after everyone was talking about me because I needed the coins. I didn't want to be heartbroken and broke. No, and as realized, I needed to work to keep the money because I needed the money. I knew that this was my new normal and hey, I can't go through a heartache and then pack up my life and my career and be broke. And no one was giving me money.
But as the media got awash with this information, to my utmost shock, oh God, to my greatest dismay, TOKE became the villain. The press began coming hard on her.
All through the social media, a lot of hateful comments. I'm saying, predominantly from ladies, and I keep wondering, why would you do this? TOKE's I too know is too much. They love to hate her. Their comments are not nice. I'm like, we put on supportive. Oh, she's too vague. She's always going to parties. I read so many comments, and I feel, why would women do this to each other?
And they were like, she knew he was dating other women. What was she feeling like? She was feeling special, right? Was she thinking that the man was going to leave the girl for her? Oh, well. They were like, they started blaming TOKE for removing their pictures on social media after she discovered that her husband is fathering a child with his side chick, and her reaction was to take down their photographs on social media. The media began coming for TOKE, insulting her, that she doesn't love him, she doesn't honor him. Why should she take down the pictures? She is supposed to stand by him and hold his hand and support him, encourage him.
Every man wants to know that his wife, she's good in bed, she's good in the kitchen, and she shows him undivided attention. Men behave like babies. You have to show them that, okay, no matter how much I am a celebrity and all that, I am still underneath you. She had deleted a lot of pictures. I am thinking in my head that, is she in a state where she's saying that, maybe out of pride, that, how can he hold me? Then let her show the man that she can do without him. That is me, I'm saying. I'm just thinking that in my head, why would she go that length? This lady, for him to have stayed with her all through this while, it tells me something, that there is something that this lady does to this man that TOKE wasn't given to him. It's a clear case of somebody is deciding not to be selfless. Somebody is deciding to show pride. Let me tell you something. It's a big shame. Calm down, TOKE. It's a big shame on her. She cannot find herself going back to say, let her be humble enough to say, no matter what, I will keep my man. She needs to come. Listen, whatever it is, she is the one that he decided to put that ring on her finger. You must learn to compromise. You must learn to say, okay, you know what? You have made a mistake. I will forgive you. Do you understand? The man will take the girl abroad to have the baby. He has the money. He wants an American citizen for a child.
Okay.
Pray for your husband, your own husband.
Some people were even calling in, laughing about it, saying, waiting, this one a normal thing now. Is it because they are famous? I beg. Don't sit down, nothing did there.
This is happening every day with the scam. Because of the woman and celebrities, that's why people didn't take them serious. And common African something now.
Sophia, I pour you spit. Pwah! I pour you spit. Pwah! You see, the last thing that we should do as women is when we see ourselves in the wrong, we lie to ourselves. We let sentiments becloud our judgments, and we blame the man even when we know that the man is not at fault, in a bid to exonerate ourselves wrongly. That is self-deceit. That backfires. That does not give room for growth. That I discourage and I do not do. But you see, where a woman has clearly been wronged, been mistreated, oppressed, cheated, and you have the audacity, the witchcraft to blame that woman for the wrong that was done to her, you are a disgrace. And you need to put your hand on your head right now and say, receive sense. And you see that some women engage in this evil just to get praises from men. Hey, you are a correct person. I like women like you. You G. They don't mind slicing and bastardizing an innocent woman just to get praise and recognition. So when a woman's heart has been shattered by painful betrayal, you would always find some Olori Buruku women that will come out and say, what is it? What has the man done that has never been done before? I beg. Why is she overdoing? Why is she overreacting? And when you see a woman getting maltreated in her marriage, there are always the women that would come out and say, it's because she didn't take care of him. Let her cook for him. Let her dress sexy. Let her smell good. Let her do this without any question to the perpetrator. And whenever harmful and hurtful practices are being meted out to a widow, they most times are championed by fellow women. And when a woman is being pressured and taunted by reason of her infertility, it is always the women that ask the stupid, dumb questions. When are you going to get pregnant? You are still wearing short skirts. You will not go and get pregnant and give your husband a child. Most men don't make that statement. And when a woman is struggling with her weight, even if she is starving herself, it is always fellow women that would come out and ask stupid questions. Are you pregnant? You just the fat they go. You just they swell up. You are adding weight too. What is going on with you? Watch your weight too. Check your weight too. It is always fellow women. Even as little as when a woman is being bashed or laughed at because of her fashion items, maybe wigs or makeup. Look well, the people putting her down viciously are fellow women. The biggest enablers of toxic, hostile, destructive, and damaging patriarchy are women. And it is so freaking sad to see. Imagine a woman did half of what this man did. Maybe she went on a date with her ex-boyfriend as a married woman. Just date. They went to KFC or Mr. Biggs, whatever you have, to eat meat pie. And the husband saw her on a date with her ex-boyfriend. And the husband got upset and took down their wedding picture on social media. Would these women come out to blame the man? That's just date. Not to talk about starting another family 1 year after getting married to another woman. Dear African women, receive sense. Receive sense. They no swear for us. Receive sense. So, back to the story. Toke could not bear this pain. It was too much for her to stomach. And I don't believe that anybody has any right in the world to put a threshold to another human being for what they should and should not be able to bear. If your threshold allows you to have your husband have 5 children outside your marriage, everybody does not have the same threshold. Everybody does not deal with pain or betrayal the same way. So she separated from Maje and filed for a divorce June the next year in 2016 on the grounds of adultery. In 2017, the next year, a high court sitting in Lagos officially dissolved the marriage. Maje welcomed his first child with his side chick in 2015, a boy whom they named Micah. They would then proceed to welcome another child, a daughter this time around, whom they named Anita. It is worthy to note here that despite Anita took to social media in the heat of all this drama to post, "I am winning the silent battle," it's worthy to point out that Maje never fully committed or married Anita. She is now a single mother of 2, raising their children. In the months and years that came, Maje slowly fizzled into oblivion. His business basically shut down. Don't forget that he was getting the most of his clientele from TOKE's influence in Lagos as a media personality. So his business suffered. He became a shadow of his former self, and he never recovered from the whole incident.
I'll be honest about the fact that I went through a divorce, and it resulted in me being in the press a lot.
So it was a well-publicized divorce.
Very publicized. And that left me feeling very alone. I withdrew from society.
Wow.
I was really ashamed of my situation.
You
I felt
ashamed-
ashamed not just for myself. Self-esteem was affected, but also legacy is very important to me. I was ashamed of what I had done to my family name, or what I felt I had done. And as a result, I literally went into hiding.
Wow.
But
What does hiding mean?
I didn't want to interact with anyone. I wanted to stay in my own space, stay at home.
Did you go to work? You stopped going to work?
I found it very difficult to work.
Wow.
It was very hard.
You began to lose focus.
Not just lose focus, lose motivation.
Wow.
Lose the incentive to even get up in the morning.
Wow.
What am I getting up for? Everyone already feels a certain way about me, and so on. Started to lose work. As a result of it, that's when it really started to get to me. As a man, your work is your identity. And I started to lose opportunities. I started to lose business deals. So it became a real problem for me.
Wow.
That's where I made a decision. I literally had to make a decision for my own survival because I was living in hopelessness.
TOKE was no stranger to pain, and depression was her middle name. She had lost both parents as a child in a scarring tragedy. She later on lost her elder sister prematurely. She had been disgraced by the man that she loved and became a divorcee in her early 30s after just 1 year of marriage. 18 months. She had been rejected, mocked, and spat on by life itself. She had every reason to disappear, to coil up and surrender forever. But the question remained, would she vanish into the shadows of her wounds, or would she rise from the ashes of the fire that sought to consume her? What was it gonna be? She chose strength. This 5.5 woman was small, but she was mighty. She refused to stay buried. She refused the pity party, and she took charge of her life and reinvented herself. The very next year after her divorce, TOKE launched a premium handbag line under her label, TM Luxury. And although people on social media mocked her and told her that it looks like a failed science project, she couldn't care less what their opinions were.
I remember the first set of handbags we released, people were bashing it on Twitter. Is this a science school project? Was one of the things that hurt me the most. And I was like, here you are again, faced with this challenge. Do you sink or do you swim? Do you drown or do you know what? Float.
The very next year in 2018, she launched her skincare brand called Glow by TM. And then she launched her fragrance brand. In 2019, a year after all of these launches, she was signed as brand ambassador for Opal Mobile and also for Ciroc, the drink. By 2020, she was announced as the host of The Voice Nigeria, and then she went ahead to anchor the Golda Ultimate Search Season 12. She had cosmetic surgery, which she said she did to feel good and look good. She then premiered her celebrity talk show, Talk with TOKE MAKINWA, on MultiChoice. She became a brand ambassador for big brands such as Paypot. By 2022, she made her big debut into acting when she starred in the Netflix movie Glamour Girls. She was awarded Style Influencer of the Year at the Glitz Style Awards and then Africa's Youth Awards 100 Most Influential Persons in 2018. She bagged the most popular female media personality at the Net Honors in 2020. Divorce, dare say, is shameful, but TOKE looked the shame that society was trying to shackle her in, and she gave it the finger. She chose to control her own story and narrative by writing the book, which she named Unbecoming. On this book, Maje dragged her to court, suing her for defamation. The reliefs he sought was 100 million naira in damages for libel. 2, a withdrawal or recall of the book. That means he wanted the book to be removed from circulation wherever it had been distributed or dispatched to. They should be recalled and delivered them up for destruction. 3, to stop sales on all platforms, Amazon, iTunes, and also to halt all promotions on the book. He also sought a public retraction of the story and an unreserved apology in 3 daily national newspapers. The court declined all his requests, saying that they found just a few contentious comments in a few pages of the book, just a few lines, and the court ordered that those lines be removed from unsold copies, not to retract the one that has already been sold and destroy. That anyone that has not been sold, henceforth, let those lines, those few lines, be removed, expunged. He was awarded 1 million naira in damages as against 100 million. And guess who was on ground to exalt Maje and drag TOKE? A woman. Another woman.
So I wasn't very comfortable with the way he was portrayed in the book at some point. It wasn't like this person took your life or battered you. I don't want to believe that that was his intention from day one, or that she can be absolved of all her own faults as well, because she's human. We are human. I'm not perfect. No one is perfect, so she cannot claim to be perfect. So I mean, I'm happy for Maje.
Well, a few days ago, 10 whole years after her divorce, TOKE took to social media to announce that she is pregnant, and everybody had an opinion. The truth is that the court of social media will always be in session, and the jury would always be striving to find who is guilty and not guilty. But before we debate her choices, I feel it's good that we hear her story, and that is why I chose to tell it, so we can all understand the road that she walked on and how she has had to rebuild her life on earth with shaky hands. So, is it gonna be a congratulations, TOKE? Or will it be, you hypocrite, how dare you? How dare you have a child outside wedlock? How dare you get a divorce in your early 30s only to end up as a single mother in your early 40s? What is it for you? What are your thoughts? What is your perception? Let us get them all down in the comment section. But whatever it is, Whatever stance you take, one thing remains constant. TOKE MAKINWA is a woman who has walked through the valleys of the shadows of death. And she has looked the devil in the eyes and told him, go to hell. Still, she rises. I hope that we can draw some strength, hope, and courage from her story. Thank you for watching and for listening. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. Bye.
God, remember the girl, the one you saved, Jesus, the one who was broken, the one who did not have where to turn, but somehow you gave me a chance. Thank you, Jesus, for not looking at me the way the world looks at me. Thank you, Jesus, for not judging me the way the world judges me. Thank you, Lord, for I have a place that I can come to. Thank you because my praise is forever indebted to you. Thank you, Lord, because you are the author and the finisher of my faith. Thank you for remembering my mother. Thank you for that bed. And she said, thank you, Jesus, because she died. And she said she can see Jesus. His face shines as the sun. Jesus, you have been all that we need and more. Jesus, you have comforted me when friends left me. Jesus, you told me through a divorce. God, when I thought I was going to die, Lord. When I did not know how I was going to wake up the next day, somehow you held me together. Even when I showed a brave face, Lord, you knew I wasn't brave. But somehow you made me a tiger.